Chosen one, from the beginning your presence was a blessing in the lives of others, even when they did not recognize it. You carried light into rooms that were heavy. You brought warmth into hearts that were cold. And you gave more than you received, time after time. Yet instead of celebrating you, many failed to honor you. They mistook your kindness for weakness, your silence for insignificance, and your patience for something to be taken advantage of. They thought you would always be there, always pouring, always giving without ever needing to be poured into yourself. And now, as the dust has settled, they feel the void that your absence left behind. They used to think they had endless access to your heart, your love, your wisdom, and your strength. But when someone consistently fails to honor a blessing, they eventually realize what they lost too late. That is where you stand now, no longer present in the same spaces, no longer carrying their weight for them, no longer silencing your own needs so theirs could be met. And in that shift, they feel the void. It echoes in their silence. It follows them when they try to find the energy you once gave freely. It lingers in the emptiness of the places where your presence used to bring life. What they never understood is that your energy was never ordinary. You carried a spiritual frequency that could change atmospheres. You shifted things without even trying. When you walked into a place, peace followed you. When you spoke, even your quietest words carried weight. When you loved, it healed pieces of others they did not even realize were broken. That was the blessing you were, and yet they failed to honor you. Now, stripped of your presence, they feel the void not just around them, but within themselves. The void is more than silence. It is the realization of what they can never replace. They can try to fill it with noise, distractions, or even other people, but nothing fits the shape of the blessing you once were. They failed to honor the rare gift of your presence, and so they are left with emptiness where life once flowed. They may not speak it aloud, but in quiet moments they replay the memories, the times when you stood by them, the love you gave without conditions, the strength you offered without hesitation. And with each memory, the void deepens, because they know now what they did not recognize then. You were the blessing they mishandled. Chosen one, do not mistake their regret as your responsibility. It is not your job to shrink so that others can feel comfortable. It is not your role to keep pouring into cups that only drain you. You gave with purity, and they failed to honor it. The void they now feel is not punishment, it is consequence. It is the echo of their choices, the fruit of their failure to see what was in front of them. And though they may try to run from it, they cannot escape it, because your absence is louder than your presence ever was. This is the season where you finally step into your worth. You no longer chase those who failed to see you. You no longer beg for those who mishandled you to understand. You rise, carrying the truth that you were always a blessing, always rare, always divine. And now the world will see clearly. Those who failed to honor you must live with the reality of the void, while you walk into a future overflowing with alignment, love, and recognition of who you truly are. Chosen one, before I go deeper into this word for you, let me pause for a moment and remind you that this message came to you for a reason. Stay until the very end, because there are powerful revelations and special affirmations waiting that will stir your spirit and lift you into greater clarity. I also encourage you to take one simple but intentional step right now. Write your most sincere wishes in the comments and seal them with the number 777. This is more than just an action. It is an act of alignment. It is you declaring your intention to the universe, calling in what is already waiting for you, and sending energy outward that will return multiplied. And while you do this, subscribe, stay connected, and join the flow of blessings and empowerment being released here. This is not just a video, it is a channel of transformation. Now, let's return to the truth about your journey. There were people who had access to you, access to your love, your time, your wisdom, your energy, and they treated it carelessly. They failed to honor you because they thought your giving would never run out. They assumed you would always show up, always forgive, always pour out. But when someone consistently fails to value what is rare, they eventually lose it. And now, in your absence, they feel the void. The void is the silence they cannot fill. It is the lack of peace they cannot recreate. It is the loss of the grounding energy you carried, the balance you brought, the hope you inspired. They may try to distract themselves with noise, with new faces, or with shallow routines, but nothing replaces the essence of who you were to them. You were not ordinary. You were a blessing. And because they failed to honor that blessing, they are left wandering in emptiness. Think of how many times you gave without asking for anything in return. How often you extended grace when it was not deserved. How you stood by them when they would not have done the same for you. And yet they failed to honor you. They dismissed your worth, not realizing that your absence would echo louder than your presence. That echo is the void they now feel. It reminds them daily of what they lost, of what they could not keep, of what they mishandled. This realization does not come to you as revenge, it comes as justice. The universe always balances what is unbalanced. When someone fails to honor a blessing, the blessing is removed, and the emptiness they feel is the natural consequence. That void is their teacher now. It speaks to them more powerfully than your words ever could. It forces them to recognize what they did not appreciate when it was within reach. And that recognition cannot be undone. Chosen one, hear me. You do not need to return to the places where you were dishonored. You do not need to reopen doors that were closed because of carelessness. You do not need to make yourself small just to be accepted. Those days are over. Their failure to honor you was their choice, and the void they feel now is their burden to carry. Your role is to rise into your worth, to stand in your truth, and to walk into the new spaces where you will be seen, valued, and celebrated. So release the weight of their regret. Let go of the pull of their absence. Do not confuse their sudden awareness with your responsibility to heal them. You were the blessing. They failed to honor you. And now, as they feel the void, you move forward into alignment, into fullness, into everything that was always meant for you. Chosen one, your story carries weight because it is not just about what people did to you. It is about how you rose in spite of it. They had the chance to honor you, to cherish your presence, to treat you as the blessing you were. Instead, they failed to honor you. They chose selfishness over gratitude, pride over humility, and comfort over truth. And now, as you have stepped away, they feel the void more deeply than they ever imagined. This void is not something they can easily escape. It follows them when they try to laugh, when they try to fill the silence with distractions, when they look around and realize that no one else carries the essence you once brought into their lives. You were peace in their chaos. You were light in their shadow. You were a voice of reason when confusion surrounded them. And now, in your absence, they feel the void every day, because nothing compares to what they lost. It's important for you to understand that this was never about your lack. It was never that you weren't enough. It was always the opposite. You were more than they knew how to handle. Some hearts are too small to carry the kind of love and light you gave. Some spirits are too restless to sit with the depth you carried. So rather than rising to your level, they took you for granted. They failed to honor you, and in doing so, they taught themselves a painful lesson. The void is the fruit of their choices. Think of how much you poured out. You gave your time, your energy, your prayers, your guidance. Even when you were tired, you still gave. Even when you were broken, you still loved. Even when you were overlooked, you still stood by them. That is why the void feels so heavy to them now. They are not only missing your presence, they are missing the endless stream of blessings you embodied. You weren't just someone in their life. You were the source of strength they leaned on without even realizing it. But chosen one, hear this clearly. You are not called to run back to those who only recognized your value in your absence. You are not responsible for filling the void they created by failing to honor you. Their regret is theirs to carry. Their longing is theirs to endure. And while they feel the void, you are called to walk forward, free and empowered, into the spaces where you will be celebrated, not tolerated. The pain you endured was preparation. It was teaching you to recognize the difference between those who truly honor you and those who only consume you. It was training you to stop giving endlessly to people who never pour back into you. It was aligning you with a future where your light will be received, cherished, and multiplied. Every lesson you learned from their failure has now become your strength. You have discovered that your value does not decrease because others could not see it. Your worth does not shrink because others refuse to honor it. Chosen one, you are stepping into a season where your worth will no longer be questioned. You will no longer be surrounded by people who drain you. Instead, you will be met with those who see your light and match it with their own. And while those who failed to honor you feel the void, you will feel fulfillment. While they replay their mistakes, you will walk into miracles. While they regret, you will rejoice. That is the divine exchange. Loss for them, abundance for you. Chosen one, you have reached a place where silence speaks louder than any word. You no longer need to defend yourself, to explain your worth, or to prove your value. The very fact that you are absent is proof enough. Those who failed to honor you now feel the void, and that void grows heavier with each passing day. They used to have constant access to your kindness, your wisdom, your patience, and your love. Now they replay the memories, wishing they had treated you differently, wishing they had honored the blessing they once had. The void they feel is not temporary. It is lasting. It follows them into their decisions, into their relationships, into the quiet moments when they are left alone with their thoughts. They try to cover it up with noise, with distractions, with shallow connections. But nothing fills the space you once occupied. Why? Because what you carried cannot be duplicated. You were not just another person in their life. You were a source of light, a grounding presence, a reflection of what true loyalty looks like. And because they failed to honor you, they now live with the consequence of emptiness. It's important for you to see this from the right perspective. This is not about revenge. It is about justice. The universe has a way of balancing itself, of teaching lessons that words cannot. They had the opportunity to cherish you when you were near, but they chose to mishandle you. They failed to honor you when it mattered most. And now, the absence of your presence teaches them what your words never could. This is the void that humbles the proud, that awakens the careless, that exposes the truth. Think of the countless moments you stayed silent when you could have spoken. You forgave when you could have walked away. You loved when you could have turned cold. You gave when you had every reason to withhold. That was who you were, and they took it for granted. Now the silence they sit in is filled with reminders of your strength, your love, your grace. They feel the void because they cannot replace what they lost. Every attempt only confirms that nothing compares to you. Chosen one, your strength now is in not returning to what broke you. You have learned that going back would only cheapen the lessons you've endured. Their failure to honor you was not about your worth. It was about their inability to recognize greatness while it was right in front of them. And though they may regret deeply, you are not meant to carry the weight of their regret. You are meant to move forward, free of the past, stepping into the kind of recognition and honor that was always yours to begin with. This season is not about them anymore. It is about you. It is about stepping into wholeness, about reclaiming your voice, about living fully without apology. It is about refusing to settle for being tolerated when you were created to be celebrated. It is about walking away from spaces where you were drained and walking into spaces where you will be poured into. And as you do this, their void grows, because they finally understand what they lost, while you finally experience the fullness you always deserved. Chosen one, never forget this truth. Their failure to honor you will forever be their burden. The void they feel is their consequence, not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to rise higher, to shine brighter, to embrace the future with confidence. You are not defined by the ones who mishandled you. You are defined by the strength that carried you through, the wisdom you gained, and the fire that now burns even brighter. Chosen one, people rarely understand the value of light until they are left in darkness. They rarely see the blessing they were given until it is gone. That is the story of how they treated you. They had every chance to see who you were, every opportunity to honor your presence, every reason to be grateful, yet they failed to honor you. They overlooked the gift of your loyalty, dismissed the weight of your love, and underestimated the power of your presence. Now, in the silence of your absence, they feel the void that cannot be filled by anything or anyone else. The truth is, you were never meant to blend in. You were never just another face, another voice, another presence in the crowd. Your very existence carried something rare, something divine, something irreplaceable. And because they were blind to it, they mishandled you. They thought you would always be there, waiting, forgiving, giving endlessly. But you are not a resource to be drained. You are not an endless well for others to drink from without giving back. You are a blessing, and when blessings are not honored, their absence leaves behind an emptiness that echoes louder than words. Now, as they sit with that emptiness, they replay their choices. They remember the times you gave without complaint, the moments you stood by them when no one else would, the love you showed when they least deserved it. And every memory cuts deeper, because they now realize what they lost. They feel the void because they are left with nothing to replace what you carried. No matter how they search, no matter who they try to surround themselves with, nothing compares to the purity of your presence. This is not cruelty, it is truth. The universe operates on balance. When someone consistently fails to honor you, the blessing of your presence is removed, and the removal itself becomes the lesson. Their void is their teacher now. It speaks louder than your voice ever did. It reminds them daily of what they had and what they lost. And it is a lesson that cannot be avoided, because absence cannot be silenced. Chosen one, you must hear this as clearly as possible. You were never the problem. You were never too much. You were never unworthy. Their failure to honor you does not reflect your value. It reflects their blindness. And now, while they feel the void, you are called to embrace the fullness of who you are. This is your season to stop giving yourself to those who only take. This is your time to step into circles where your worth is recognized and your presence celebrated. Think of the strength you gained through this. Every disappointment taught you discernment. Every rejection taught you resilience. Every betrayal sharpened your wisdom. You are stronger now, not weaker. You are brighter now, not dimmed. You are freer now, not bound. Their failure to honor you became your awakening, and their void became your freedom. While they wrestle with regret, you walk with purpose. While they sit in emptiness, you step into abundance. While they feel the void, you are filled with vision. So never doubt this truth. You were always the blessing. You were always rare. You were always chosen. Their inability to see it does not change it. They failed to honor you, and now they carry the weight of emptiness, while you carry the fire of destiny. Chosen one, the irony of your story is that the very people who overlooked you are now desperate for what they once ignored. They failed to honor you when your presence was within reach, and now, stripped of your light, they feel the void in every corner of their lives. They remember how your words brought peace, how your actions brought comfort, how your spirit shifted atmospheres. They replay those moments over and over because they know they cannot recreate them. And in their attempts to move forward, they discover a painful truth. Nothing compares to you. Some of them will try to reach out, not because they suddenly learned how to value you, but because they are haunted by the emptiness your absence created. They feel the void in ways they never anticipated. In sleepless nights, in restless thoughts, in relationships that lack the depth you effortlessly carried. They thought they could replace you easily, but what you brought was not something anyone else could mimic. Your love was not ordinary. Your patience was not shallow. Your strength was not surface level. You were a blessing, and they mishandled you. But chosen one, here is where the shift happens. You no longer crave their recognition. You no longer ache for their validation. You no longer bend to earn the honor that was always yours. You have risen into a place where you see your own worth clearly. You fill your own cup now, and in doing so, you walk in a fullness that cannot be touched by those who once drained you. Their failure to honor you no longer wounds you. It liberates you. And while they feel the void, you feel complete. The void they sit in is not only the absence of your presence, it is the absence of their growth. Because they refused to honor you, they also refused to grow with you. They remained stagnant while you evolved. They chose blindness while you awakened. Now, the gap between you and them is unbridgeable. They are left longing for the days when your light covered their shadows, but those days are gone. You no longer dim yourself to keep others comfortable. You no longer silence your voice to avoid confrontation. You no longer sacrifice yourself to prove your loyalty. You have stepped into alignment with destiny, and destiny does not move backward. It is natural for them to regret now. It is natural for them to replay the moments when they could have cherished you but didn't. But regret is not restoration. They can feel the void all they want, but that does not mean they can fill it again with your presence. That season has ended. That chapter has closed. The universe does not allow blessings to be mishandled twice. Once honor is denied, the blessing is removed. That is why the void remains. It is the echo of their failure, the weight of their blindness, the price of their choices. Chosen one, you are unstoppable in this new season. Nothing ties you down to what was. The ones who failed to honor you cannot follow you where you are going. They are anchored in regret, while you are lifted by purpose. They feel the void, but you feel vision. They replay memories, but you create miracles. Their pain is their consequence, but your power is your crown. And no matter how much they desire your return, they cannot access you the same way again. So walk with peace in your spirit. Do not look back, wondering if you should return. Do not second-guess the silence. The silence is holy, the absence is divine, and the void they feel is proof that you were never ordinary. You were always the blessing, and now that you know it fully, nothing can stop the rise that is already unfolding in your life. Chosen one, as time moves forward, the reality of their choices only grows heavier. At first, they thought your absence would be temporary, that they could continue on as if nothing had changed. But now the truth surrounds them like a shadow they cannot escape. They failed to honor you when they had the chance, and now they feel the void not as a passing discomfort, but as a constant companion. That emptiness meets them in the quiet hours of the night, in the pauses between conversations, in the hollowness of relationships that lack the depth you once provided. This void is more than emotional. It is spiritual. They are realizing that your presence was never just about what you did. It was about who you were. You carried peace into their storms. You carried light into their darkness. You carried faith into their doubt. And now, without you, they feel the void, as if a vital part of their world has gone missing. They try to replicate your essence, but it cannot be copied. They search for comfort in others, but it cannot be replaced. They fill their days with noise, but the silence still screams. And while they wrestle with regret, You rise. You are no longer tied to their dishonor. You are no longer weighed down by their inability to value you. What once wounded you now strengthens you. What once drained you now fuels you. The very failure that left you feeling unseen has become the foundation of your elevation. They failed to honor you, but in doing so, they taught you to honor yourself. And in that shift, you became unstoppable. You see, chosen one, the void they feel is the mirror of the fullness you now walk in. While they sit in emptiness, you stand in abundance. While they replay their mistakes, you embrace new miracles. While they long for the past, you step boldly into the future. Their failure to honor you opened doors for you to walk into circles where you are celebrated, not tolerated. It positioned you for opportunities that only recognize your worth. It aligned you with people who see the blessing you are and reflect it back to you. Do not underestimate how powerful this transformation has been. The pain they caused pushed you into purpose. The rejection they gave redirected you into alignment. The dishonor they showed became the spark that awakened your true strength. And while they feel the void, you have become a vessel of vision. You carry clarity, power, and confidence in ways you never did before. You shine brighter now, not in spite of what happened, but because of it. Their regret will grow, chosen one, because the more you rise, the more they realize what they lost. Every success you achieve, every step you take forward, every moment you shine, it amplifies the emptiness they feel. But that emptiness is not your responsibility. It is their consequence. You no longer live to heal the wounds of those who wounded you. You live to honor yourself, to honor your calling, to honor the divine light within you. So walk freely, walk boldly, walk knowing that your worth has never been tied to the ones who failed to honor you. Let them feel the void. It is the teacher they chose when they refused to value the blessing in their hands. And as for you, embrace the truth that you are rising into a season where the only response to your presence will be recognition, gratitude, and honor. Chosen one, as we arrive at the final part of this word, let the truth settle deep into your spirit. You were never ordinary. You were never meant to be overlooked or mishandled. You were a blessing, and because they failed to honor you, they now feel the void in ways they cannot escape. That emptiness is their reminder of what they lost. But for you, it is freedom. It is the evidence that you were always more than they could see, always greater than they could comprehend, always chosen for a purpose far beyond their recognition. They may try to cover the emptiness with noise, with distractions, even with substitutes. But nothing will erase the space you once filled. The light you carried cannot be copied. The peace you gave cannot be manufactured. The love you poured out cannot be imitated. They failed to honor you, and the weight of that decision now shapes their nights and their days. But chosen one, it is no longer your concern. Their regret belongs to them, not you. Their void is their burden, not your responsibility. You stand now in a place of clarity. What once broke you has built you. What once silenced you has sharpened your voice. What once drained you has become the fuel for your rising. You are no longer tied to dishonor. You are aligned with destiny. You are no longer bound by the opinions of those who mishandled you. You are empowered by the truth of who you are. And as you step forward, the universe aligns to open doors that will honor your presence, relationships that will value your heart, and opportunities that will magnify your worth. Chosen one, this is the season where your absence speaks louder than your presence ever did. It is the season where their failure becomes your freedom. It is the season where their void becomes your victory. And while they feel the emptiness of what they lost, you will feel the fullness of everything that was always meant for you. So walk into this new chapter boldly. Let go of the weight of their regret. Do not look back for validation. Do not shrink to fit into spaces too small for you. You were always the blessing, and now you rise as the living proof that nothing can stop what was divinely written. They failed to honor you. Now they feel the void. But you step into abundance, into alignment, into destiny, and your story is only beginning.